Tonight at midnight, a private investigator was sent to track you. Michael is warning you to open this. They've been watching from the shadows. Heaven stepped in. My beloved child, what you are about to hear is not a coincidence. Not now, not after everything you've felt lately. That restlessness in your chest, the dreams that didn't make sense, the sudden feeling that someone is watching. It wasn't just paranoia. It wasn't just your imagination. Archangel Michael stepped in because tonight was supposed to unfold in silence. But heaven decided to intervene because your name has been whispered in places where no light was ever meant to reach. Someone tried to move against you quietly, in secret. They thought they could cover their steps, erase their traces, and trap you in confusion. But heaven saw it. The shadows do not hide from God, and now Archangel Michael has been sent to tell you what they never wanted you to know. There was a meeting and your name came up, not in love, not in kindness, but in planning. And that plan was already in motion until tonight, until heaven interrupted the silence. Michael says you were not meant to find this message on your own. You were led here. That tug in your soul, that urge to click, that was me pulling you out of danger. Because tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, at midnight, something was supposed to shift around you. A choice was going to be made, but before that happens, you must know the truth. A private investigator, yes. Not in a trench coat and fedora, but something darker. Someone who was hired not with money, but with resentment. A soul so bent on control they'd follow you into the shadows just to write your story for you. But here's the thing. Heaven writes your story, not them. My child, this isn't to scare you. This is to wake you. For so long, you've been sensing it. The feeling of being watched. The thoughts you didn't recognize as yours. The subtle shifts in your home, your devices, your own intuition screaming something is not right. That's because it wasn't, and it still isn't. But Archangel Michael didn't come to give you fear. He came to bring clarity, protection, and a divine change of course. You were about to walk into a trap you couldn't see, so heaven moved first. There's more. The one who sent this person toward you, they used to know your name closely, maybe even with affection, but jealousy turned their heart hard. And they couldn't understand how you kept rising, how your soul refused to be dimmed. They couldn't understand why, after all the pain you went through, you still had light left in your eyes. So they tried to steal what they couldn't create. Your peace, your privacy, your path. But they made one miscalculation. They forgot that you are protected by divine armor. You belong to something higher. Michael is standing in your room right now. Yes, I know that sounds impossible, but if you close your eyes right now and breathe in deeply, you'll feel it. The pressure in the air, that's stillness. The hairs rising, that's not fear, that's presence. The Archangel himself is encircling you as you read, because this message, it's not words on a screen. It's a shield. It's a key. And once you finish this message, the lock that held back what's truly yours, the favor, the opportunity, the clarity, will break. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, why would heaven go this far to reach me? Why now? Why this exact moment? My child, because the hour was chosen long before you even knew danger was near. Heaven works in layers, and Michael has been trying to warn you for days. That strange dream you had where someone whispered your name, that wasn't a dream. That moment your phone glitched or your lights flickered when you felt something around you. That wasn't electricity. That was spiritual interference. They've been trying to interfere with your signal to block messages meant for your soul, but not anymore. If this message is reaching your heart, then pause and subscribe. You were meant to receive this because this isn't just a message, it's an activation. When you choose to receive what heaven is pouring into your life, the whole atmosphere around you begins to shift. You don't see it with your eyes, but your spirit knows. The walls start listening, the silence begins to break, and the path clears. Now, listen closely. There is something buried in your past that this person wanted to use against you, something they thought you had forgotten. But heaven says you are not who you were. You are not defined by your lowest moment. Your transformation scared them. Your strength, the kind that doesn't shout but keeps standing, made them nervous. So they sent someone to collect fragments of your story, hoping to rearrange them into a weapon. But God says they will trip over what they tried to trap you with. What was meant to break you will now become the evidence of your anointing. Michael says this with urgency, and you must feel the weight of this truth. Do not ignore the signs around you tonight. Look carefully. Check the messages. Watch who appears in your dreams. Look at the time you wake up. Notice the silence. Something is unfolding. They tried to watch you, but now the watcher has been watched. Heaven's eyes are greater than theirs. The private investigator has been identified. Their report has been intercepted, and the pages they were about to turn in secret burned. Heaven stepped in. There's something else, and it's personal. Michael says you've been asking why your progress suddenly slowed down, why certain blessings felt delayed, why people you trusted pulled away. It wasn't coincidence. They were manipulated, gently redirected, not by magic but by the quiet influence of energy around you. When someone sends darkness toward you, even indirectly, it can cause confusion, spiritual interference. But now the fog is lifting because this message isn't just to warn you, it's to realign you. God is restoring what was twisted behind the curtain. Heaven is unmasking those who wore smiles but planned sabotage. And child, listen carefully. There is someone unexpected who will contact you very soon. Their message will seem casual, but hidden in their words is a confirmation. It will be a test. Do not ignore it. They may even mention something they shouldn't know, something small. Pay attention. That is your sign that this divine warning is real. Then listen, because heaven is not done speaking. Not yet. You see, some of the things you've been questioning lately, those patterns, the people who stop talking to you without reason, that strange feeling when you walk into certain rooms, they weren't accidents. Someone tried to stain your name in places you couldn't see. They whispered behind doors you never knocked on. They pulled strings in the dark, thinking you would never know. But Archangel Michael has been watching, and tonight he stands between you and what was meant to harm you. You may not feel powerful right now. You may even feel tired, a little broken, a little uncertain. But that's exactly when heaven does its greatest work. In the quiet moments when your spirit is still, open enough to feel the whisper of the divine. You were never forgotten, not for a second. You were targeted, yes, but that's because you carry something inside you that scares darkness. You carry divine purpose. And those who operate in shadows cannot stand those who shine, even when they're silent, especially when they're silent. Tonight at midnight, a window opens. Something will pass through. Not something evil, not anymore, because Michael has already blocked what was meant to come. But something else is entering now, truth. Truth that will make some people uncomfortable, truth that will make you stronger. And with that truth comes a decision. Heaven is offering you the sword now. You don't need to swing it, just hold it, just claim it. Because this isn't the time to run or hide or apologize for your intuition. This is the time to step into it. Fully, fearlessly. And I know it's hard to believe when the people closest to you have been silent or strange or just not quite themselves. But that's because the energy around you has been unsettled. You've been walking through spiritual static. There were things placed in your path to keep you from hearing clearly. But the moment you opened this message, that began to break. The frequency is clearing, and the signs will begin pouring in faster than you expect. Someone you never thought would reach out will. Someone you trusted will reveal a part of themselves that shocks you. But don't be afraid. Revelation always comes before restoration. Michael wants you to know something deeper now. He says, there are people who love you, but they were manipulated. Their silence wasn't always betrayal. Some of them were spiritually disoriented, disconnected from their own guidance. That's why God is not only protecting you from your enemies, but also gently healing those who were influenced by them. Forgiveness will be needed soon, and discernment, but not all who hurt you were wicked. Some were just lost, and now they are being awakened too. My child, this is the part most people won't believe. But I know you will, because your spirit is already trembling with recognition. In the last 24 hours, someone has been trying to access your energy. They may have said your name out loud with anger. They may have used your photo. They may have simply meditated on your downfall, but heaven blocked it. You may have felt a wave of tiredness, a sudden heaviness, or an emotional crash that made no sense. That was their moment, and it passed, and you are still here. That is not small. That is a sign. Let me take you back just for a second. Remember that one moment you almost gave up. The night you cried quietly and didn't tell anyone. The morning you woke up feeling like everything was too heavy. Heaven saw that, and heaven recorded it. And because of that night, you were marked for protection. You didn't even have to ask, you were covered. And tonight, that same covering has increased. You are not just being protected, you are being positioned. There's a place you're supposed to go soon, a literal place. Maybe a new house, a new job, a city, or even a room you've been avoiding. And Archangel Michael says, when you walk into that place next time, something new will greet you. A shifted atmosphere, an open door, a cleared path. That's because your timeline is being rewritten in real time. No more delays, no more detours, no more invisible hands pulling you backward. And here's what else you need to know, and it's important. You are not cursed. You never were. You are chosen. You were just under surveillance, watched not just by people but by spirits that couldn't figure you out. They tried to label you, box you, measure your soul with human tools, but heaven said, no, this one is mine. So now, everything they tried to use against you, from your past mistakes to your heartbreaks to your own doubts, will be reversed. Not just healed, reversed. What was sent to break you will now build your platform. Michael is speaking again. He says, don't text them back. You know who. That person who drained your light, the one who shows up only when they feel you rising. They will come soon like clockwork. Their message will seem innocent. They may say they miss you or that they had a weird feeling about you today. But heaven says they are not your destiny. They are your distraction. And distractions don't belong on a divine journey. My child, breathe, just breathe. You've absorbed so much already, and yet your soul is still here, wide open, receiving. That's no accident, that's strength. That's divine resilience. Most people scroll past messages like this, but you didn't because something in you knew this was yours. Not a random video, not a dramatic title. A call, a confirmation, a doorway. So now I ask you, what will you do with it? Will you act like nothing happened and go back to the normal that never truly served you? Or will you pause tonight, even for 5 minutes, and let heaven show you the new blueprint? It's already unraveling slowly, quietly, like golden threads unwinding in the dark. But you have to say yes, not out loud in your spirit, just a whisper, just a thought, I'm ready. Michael wants you to know everything they tried to take from you is already on its way back, but not in the same form, not in the way you lost it. When heaven restores, it doesn't return things to their old condition. It elevates them. The relationship you thought was over forever, if it comes back, it will come back healed, honest, pure. The finances that were drained so suddenly, they are returning, but through a channel that requires your boldness. The confidence they tried to steal with their watching eyes and whispering mouths, that is returning like fire in your bones. And it starts tonight at midnight, as heaven breaks the surveillance. You see, Michael didn't just come to warn you. He came to unleash you. You were living in a form of spiritual house arrest, kept inside invisible lines drawn by other people's fear, other people's assumptions, other people's control. But heaven just tore up those maps. You are no longer confined. That's why you'll notice in the next few days something strange will happen. The things you thought you needed won't feel so heavy anymore. The people you thought you missed won't hold the same pull. The dreams you kept putting off will start whispering again, louder, closer, more real. You're waking up. And as you do, things around you will shift too, because when someone who is chosen wakes up, the energy in the whole room changes. People will start acting funny. Watch for that. Someone may suddenly act like they're avoiding you, not answering the way they used to. Don't chase it. That's your confirmation. Michael is removing those who can no longer walk in your circle. That's not loss, that's alignment. You asked for peace, this is how it starts. My child, this part is tender. You need to hear it slowly. You were never hard to love. The people who mishandled you, misunderstood you, ghosted you, or made you feel like you had to earn your worth, they were not sent to stay. They were sent to reveal something about them, about you, about the kind of love you deserve. And now someone new is coming, someone who won't flinch when they see your softness, someone who will recognize the angelic fingerprints on your life. But you must make room. You must release the ghost of those who only wanted access, not understanding. You've been too generous with your light. That's not a flaw, that's part of your calling. But even lights need to recharge. Even warriors need rest. And you, beloved, have fought so long without even realizing it. You smiled while bleeding. You kept praying when it felt like no one was listening. But God was. God always was. And now the answer is arriving. Slowly, softly, but with power, with precision. Michael says, this next part is for your future self, the version of you already rising on the other side of this breakthrough. That version is already walking into the room you've been praying to enter. That version is already looking back on this very moment, this midnight warning, as the turning point. And that version of you, they are proud. Not because you never broke down, but because you didn't give up. You kept searching even when your hands were empty. You kept believing even when the silence was loud. And tonight, yes, tonight, heaven decided that was enough. No more silence. Expect signs, unusual ones. A bird acting strange, a song you haven't heard in years, a stranger repeating a phrase that already lives in your heart. Those aren't random, they are heavenly confirmations. Your soul already knows how to read them. You've done it before, and you will do it again now with more clarity. Don't let anyone convince you that you're imagining things. You are being guided, and the next few days are going to prove it. But also be wise, because as your light increases, some people will try to re-enter. Old patterns will resurface, masked in new costumes. This is not the time to test if they've changed. This is the time to trust that you have. Michael will place a warning in your spirit. When you feel that tightening in your chest, that strange pause before you say yes to someone, listen. That's not anxiety, that's discernment. Heaven speaks through your body as much as your dreams. Start paying attention. And now comes the hard truth, the one you might want to skip over but can't. Not everyone watching you is doing so with hate. Some are confused admirers. They can't figure out how you keep going. They feel convicted by your grace. That's why they mock. That's why they copy. That's why they gossip. Not because you are weak, but because your existence makes their excuses look too small. But you weren't made to fit into comfort zones. You were made to walk boldly, even when the road is invisible. And heaven is clearing that road now. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. He won a fortune by doing this. It's not luck. Here is why. Friend, some people mistake this for luck. In fact, it's those who don't have an understanding of this method to attract abundance that always say, nah, that was just luck. It's not luck that these 3 guys hit the jackpot. It's actually true science, and it works. Click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret. Go here to understand how this wealth attraction method works. The Prince of England and his father, King Charles, used this, and everyone in their family throughout history. See why here. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you. Michael says the next 7 days will feel like a test, but don't panic. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Each delay will hide a miracle. Each closed door will protect you. Each unanswered message will save your energy for something far better. Your only job, stay alert, stay soft, stay ready. And when the moment feels right, move, even if it's small, even if no one claps, because your small move will be the loudest sound in the spirit realm. And as for the one who sent the investigator, let them watch. Let them hear your name in rooms they can't enter. Let them feel the weight of what they tried to interrupt. Because you were never the target. You were always the testimony. Child, you are free now. Then stay with me now, because this last part is where heaven seals what was started. My child, you are no longer under observation. You are under elevation. What was once a hidden battle is now becoming a public breakthrough. But this time, you won't need to prove anything. You won't need to defend your heart, because heaven is about to do something so undeniable in your life. The very people who doubted you will be silenced. Not by revenge, not by drama, but by your glow, by your healing, by your peace. Archangel Michael says this glow will confuse the enemy. They will wonder why you're still shining after everything they threw. But it's simple. You were chosen before they ever tried to break you. Let me speak now to the part of you that still feels heavy, the part that says, "But what if this happens again?" Heaven answers gently. Even if they try, they will fail. Again and again. Because now the covering over you has been strengthened. Michael has redrawn the lines. The surveillance has been flipped. The watchers are now being watched. The trackers are being tracked by forces far beyond their understanding. And you're walking under a shield that no man, no word, no whisper can penetrate. Listen closely. You may start waking up at strange hours. Don't be afraid. That's heaven speaking. That's your angels nudging you. 3:0 a.m. 3:33 4:44. These are not random times. These are divine coordinates. In those moments, speak. Whisper your fears. Declare your desires. Angels are closest when the world is most silent. The veil is thin and your words carry weight. Michael will be listening, not with judgment but with fire, because he's not done with you. He's walking with you now, every step unseen but unmistakable. And you'll begin to notice your gifts unlocking. That spiritual sensitivity you always had but couldn't explain. It will heighten. You'll start sensing things before they happen, feeling people's energy more deeply, hearing guidance not with your ears but with your soul. That's not coincidence, that's calling, that's awakening, and you are ready for it. Now people will say you've changed, and you have. But what they won't understand is this. This isn't new. This is who you've always been beneath the fear. You've simply come back home to your real self, the one that was always brave, always divine, always more spirit than flesh. And now that you're here, now that you've remembered, heaven can finally open the floodgates. You've passed the test. The test wasn't about perfection. It wasn't about never falling. It was about whether you'd keep believing when it didn't make sense, whether you'd keep opening your heart even when it was cracked, whether you'd keep looking up even when your eyes were full of tears. And you did. Even in your silence, even in your secret breakdowns, you stayed connected, and heaven took note. So now expect sudden upgrades, sudden clarity, divine acceleration. Where things felt blocked, they'll feel effortless. Where doors felt locked, they'll now swing open. But don't be surprised if it happens in unusual ways. Heaven rarely moves through the obvious. You may get a strange invitation, a delayed reply, a weird nudge. Follow it. That's the path. And Michael will be ahead of you, clearing it with his sword. Let me tell you something bold, something true, something only heaven could know. You are going to be the reason someone else finds their faith again. They'll watch your rise, they'll feel your peace, and something inside them will shift. You won't even know it happened, but heaven will, because your light isn't just for you. It's a ripple. And every choice you make from this point on, every yes, every no, every brave step, it becomes a light for someone else in the dark. Michael says your assignment isn't over, it's just beginning. You'll start receiving downloads, Visions, ideas, sudden inspiration. Write them down. You'll think it's just your imagination, but it's not. It's divine intel. It's sacred instruction. And as you follow it, you'll begin to walk not just in protection, but in purpose. There's a reason you survived all that you did. There's a reason the enemy couldn't shut you down. Because your voice is needed, your gifts are needed, your presence. Yes, your very presence changes the atmosphere. The time of hiding is over. You are not just being watched anymore. You are being revealed. The real you, the you heaven sees. The you that doesn't flinch at storms anymore because you've learned how to command the waves. That's who you are now. And it's okay if not everyone understands. Some people are still looking for the old you, the one who tolerated too much, who settled too quickly, who silenced their own voice to make others comfortable. But that version is gone. You buried them in grace. And this new version, this radiant, rising, grounded soul, they were always meant to lead. So now, rise. Tonight is not just a warning, it's a launch. Heaven isn't just protecting you. Heaven is promoting you, elevating you. And no matter who watched you from the shadows, no matter what plan was formed behind your back, it has all been broken in the presence of God. You are safe now. You are clear now. You are free now. And the next time you feel that whisper inside, the one that tells you to move, to speak, to step, do it with boldness, with joy, with full knowing that Michael goes before you, that angels surround you, that you are divinely unstoppable. Now close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in deep one more time. That stillness you feel, that's not emptiness, that's alignment. That's heaven saying, we've got you now. And Michael's last words. They watched you, but now the whole world is about to witness what heaven protected. And now listen, because what happens after midnight will be even more powerful than what happened before it. You see, now that the spiritual surveillance has been exposed and heaven has stepped between you and harm, there's a reordering taking place around your life. Behind the curtain, angels are realigning things. People, resources, conversations, like pieces on a divine chessboard. Every delay, every no, every closed door wasn't rejection. It was redirection. They were moving you away from where harm had been assigned and into the places where blessing was always waiting for you. But you had to be cleared first, cleansed, awakened. And now you are. That's why strange things might begin to happen in your physical space, little things. Flickers of light, objects falling without explanation, electronics acting up, pets staring into empty corners. These aren't random, these are spiritual signals. Michael says, pay attention, don't fear them. Respond with prayer, with stillness, with praise. The divine is increasing in your home. You're not alone, you never were. You just didn't realize how deeply you were surrounded until now. And now that your awareness is growing, so is your authority. This part is important. You need to understand what has changed, What this midnight encounter has shifted. Before, you were in protection mode, survival, just trying to get through, trying not to fall apart. But now, you've entered assignment mode. Heaven is not just saving you. Heaven is using you. You will become the safe space for others. People will come to you not even knowing why. They'll say, "I just feel peaceful around you," or "I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about something you said." That's not coincidence. That's divine radiation. That's the light of God flowing through you, finally unblocked. And with that light comes responsibility. You'll begin to feel more sensitive to environments, to people's words, to your own inner resistance. Don't ignore it. Don't numb it. That's the Holy Spirit increasing your discernment. Where once you overlooked red flags because you didn't want conflict, now you'll feel a sacred no in your chest, and that no will protect your purpose. Let it. You don't need to justify anymore. You don't need to explain your growth to those who choose not to see it. Your alignment is your explanation. Your peace is your evidence. Michael also says something deeply personal right now for you and only you. You have not failed. That thing you regret, that person you lost, that chapter you wish you could rewrite, heaven saw it all. And still you are chosen. Still you are rising. Still you are worthy. You didn't miss your calling. You didn't break your destiny. It's still intact. In fact, it's even stronger now because it's seasoned with humility, with experience, with compassion. Your pain didn't disqualify you, it prepared you. And now the season of restoration begins. You're going to start seeing the number 7. 7 messages, 7 steps, 7 signs. This is heaven's signal that completion is underway. A full circle is being closed. And in that circle, in that loop, there is healing. What you thought was over will begin again, but this time it will be holy. This time it will be right. This time you will walk in with your eyes wide open, your soul unburdened, and your angels surrounding you like fire. And what about the people who are still watching you? The ones who doubted, the ones who tried to trap you? Let them watch. Because Michael says, God prepares a table in the presence of your enemies not to shame them, but to remind you that favor isn't earned, it's granted. And you, child, are walking in granted favor now. Expect to be invited into spaces you didn't ask for. Expect to be offered things you thought you weren't qualified for. That's not luck, that's divine justice. Because when heaven steps in, nothing is impossible. Expect phone calls out of the blue, emails that feel too aligned to be random, opportunities with your name on them, ones you didn't even know you were being considered for. And don't be surprised if old opportunities you thought were dead suddenly resurrect. That's resurrection power. That's the echo of the divine still bringing life out of the places that looked like dust. And my child, don't rush this process. You don't need to hustle your healing. You don't need to prove you're changed. Just stay open. Just say, "Yes, God, show me what I couldn't see before." And you'll be amazed at how fast the light returns, how fast the love returns, how fast you return to yourself, to your calling, to your joy. One more thing, and this is sacred. Michael says you are about to receive an unexpected gift, something symbolic. It may come through a stranger, a letter, a feather, a key, something small but spiritually loud. When it appears, don't dismiss it. That is heaven's mark, a signature, a divine reminder that you are seen, known, and chosen. So if this message found you tonight, it was because heaven needed you to hear this before the next chapter begins. This wasn't just a warning. This was a prophetic unlocking, the kind of divine interruption that rewrites timelines, restores hearts, and reclaims destinies. And now, as you move into the next moments of your night, know this: Michael is still here. The atmosphere around you is different now. Watch how people respond to you. Watch how your body feels lighter, how your mind feels clearer, how even your sleep tonight will be deeper. That's because the spiritual tracking is over. You are no longer being watched in secret. You are being revealed in the light. You made it. And from this moment on, may every step you take be bathed in protection, favor, and divine clarity. Your name was spoken in heaven, and heaven answered, "Welcome to your new chapter." You are not alone. You never were. Yes, child, let us keep walking, because even now, as you sit here in stillness, something deeper is happening in the unseen. Something no eye can fully understand, but your spirit feels it. Pulling in your chest, that warm vibration in your palms, that strange ache in the middle of your back. Those are signs not of stress, but of transformation. Your body is responding to the truth your soul already accepted. You are no longer who you were before this message began. And that's why Michael is still here. You see, most people think angelic protection is only about defense. Fighting, blocking, shielding. But that's only one side. The other side, permission. Archangel Michael doesn't just protect you from harm. He clears the space so you can walk in authority. You were never meant to just survive attacks. You were meant to outgrow them. And now you have. The things that used to break you, they can't reach you anymore. The same people who once controlled your emotions with a single message. They'll try again, and you'll just smile, not with bitterness, but with peace. Because now you understand, you're not who they left. You're not who they lied about. You're not even who you were last week. You've stepped into spiritual maturity. That's why the temptations that once felt irresistible now feel empty. That's why the cycles that once sucked you in now seem so clear. That's why you're no longer afraid of being alone, because for the first time, you feel surrounded, covered, empowered. And that, child, is spiritual adulthood. It's not always flashy, sometimes it's quiet. But oh, how powerful it is. And here's something heaven told me to whisper directly to you. Stop apologizing for your light. Stop shrinking. Stop second-guessing your intuition. Stop explaining your peace to people who are still addicted to chaos. You didn't come this far to dim down. You didn't go through everything you did just to settle for half freedom. Michael says they tried to make you doubt yourself, but now your confidence will shake the walls of every room you enter. Yes, that strong, that clear, that divine. And now listen closely again, because a shift is coming within 72 hours. Yes, exactly 72 hours from when you first received this message, you will encounter something strange. It may come as a difficult conversation. It may come as unexpected silence from someone you usually hear from. It may come as a challenge. But remember this, it is not an obstacle, it is a gate. What looks like confrontation is actually confirmation. Heaven wants to see if you'll stand firm in your new identity. And when you do, oh child, when you do, the breakthrough that follows will be undeniable. There's something else deeper. Michael says you've been having visions, haven't you? Little flashes, sudden daydreams, moments where you feel like you've already lived a future scene. That's not imagination, that's prophecy. Heaven has been leaking glimpses of your destiny to prepare your heart, because you're not meant to be surprised. You're meant to recognize it. So when that door opens, when that person appears, when that message comes, when that opportunity lands, you won't hesitate. You'll say, yes, I saw this already. And you'll walk through it with divine certainty. And for those who still doubt, let them. Let them talk, let them wonder, let them scroll past, because what's coming for you isn't for the crowd. It's for you specifically. You with your history, your battles, your softness, your prayers, your quiet endurance. Heaven tailored this shift to fit your scars. That's why no one else has the key, only you. That's why this message was drawn into your path today, because time is folding now, and heaven is accelerating what was once delayed. You'll notice numbers, names, places you haven't thought about in years. All of it is part of the pattern. Follow the breadcrumbs. Say yes to the urge to take a different street, visit that old friend, check that folder, answer that email. Nothing is random now. Every movement has a message. Every silence has a signal. And don't worry, even if you forget, Michael won't. The archangel is not leaving your side. In fact, his presence is increasing. You'll feel heat in your back, weight in the air, comfort in the dark. You'll begin to feel protected in the places you used to feel anxious. You'll sleep deeper, wake up lighter. You'll say things you didn't plan to say and watch how they shift the atmosphere. That's not coincidence. That's you finally speaking from your anointing. Because yes, you are anointed. You don't have to be loud to carry power. You don't have to have a platform to be chosen. You just have to believe that heaven chose you for this exact moment. And now you know. It's no longer a mystery. It's no longer just a feeling. You've been marked, covered, prepared, and now released. Go forward with confidence. Watch the signs. Speak when heaven stirs your voice. Move when Michael nudges your feet. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. Miracle 77 letter invocation prayer found. Download here. Your path to wealth and abundance begins with a miracle. Last year, under a 2,000-year-old wall, a hidden secret was unearthed. The 77-letter invocation prayer. It's not just about prayer. It's about invoking your deepest desires with purpose and directness. The difference between a prayer and an invocation prayer, which is why it works so well. Pope Francis, Pope Benedict XVI, and countless others turned to this 2,000-year-old wall for a reason. It's a magnetic force that attracts wealth, health, and happiness. Are you ready to experience your personal miracle? Click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret of download the 77-letter invocation prayer here. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you. Rest when your body says slow down, because even resting is part of obedience. You're not behind. You're not late. You're right on divine schedule. And one final whisper before this message closes. This is your confirmation. This is your alignment. This is your sacred restart. Now rise, chosen one, and walk boldly. Heaven is watching with love. Michael is walking with a drawn sword, and you are finally free. Yes, child, even now as you sit here, something inside you knows it's not over, because heaven doesn't stop where human logic ends. And what you're feeling now, this warmth, this pressure, this divine ache deep in your soul, that is movement. Heaven is still moving. Archangel Michael is still speaking, and your spirit, it's still receiving. This moment is sacred. The final stretch of this divine message is not a conclusion, it's a commission. Because now that the interference has been exposed, now that the private investigator has been stopped, now that the whispers have been silenced, now that the sword has been drawn and the path cleared, it's your turn. Your turn to speak what you've been afraid to say. Your turn to step into what you always sensed was waiting. Your turn to stop settling, to stop explaining, to stop asking for permission to shine. Because heaven never asked the crowd before it called you. God didn't take a vote before He chose you. You were called in the silence, and now you are rising in the light. Let them wonder how. Let them wonder why. Let them whisper in confusion. You don't owe answers to anyone who refused to walk with you in your winter. The ones who left you when your soul was trembling don't get to define this next chapter. Heaven does. And heaven says you're entering the season of visible favor. What does that mean? It means what was once blocked is now blessed. It means the silence has become sound. It means your name is being mentioned in rooms that will open doors you never thought you'd walk through. It means those who tried to delay your destiny will now witness your elevation. not as revenge, but as divine evidence. It means your tears have been recorded, your prayers have been stored, and now the outpour begins. And it will be strange at first. Strange how quickly things will begin aligning. Strange how natural it will feel to say no to what you used to tolerate. Strange how you won't feel guilty for choosing yourself anymore. Strange how your energy will pull the right people in and push the wrong people out without you lifting a single finger. That's because when you are in alignment with heaven, your presence becomes a filter. You won't have to force anything. You won't have to explain the shift. The ones meant for you will recognize it. The ones not meant for you will reveal themselves quickly, effortlessly, painfully if needed. And that too is grace. Archangel Michael is saying something now, something you've needed to hear for years. You never lost your light. They just tried to bury it under lies, expectations, fear, and survival. But the flame, it was always there. And now it's a wildfire, a sacred wildfire. The kind that doesn't destroy but clears, the kind that makes way for new life. And heaven is planting new seeds in you even now. Ideas, dreams, bold thoughts that feel too big for your current reality. Don't run from them. That's the voice of your future self speaking backward through time, reminding you what you were born for. You'll know them when they come. You'll feel your heart leap, your breath catch, your fingers tingle. Don't ignore those signs anymore. That's your alignment clock striking. That's heaven saying, yes, this one is for you, even if no one around you sees it yet, even if the support isn't there. You won't need applause, you just need agreement with your soul. And this is the part most people miss, but you won't. When you fully step into who you are, you give others permission to do the same. Your freedom will be contagious. Your voice will activate dormant dreams in others. Your peace will irritate those who benefit from your fear. And that's how you'll know it's working, because true light always exposes shadows. Don't be afraid of their reaction. Don't hold yourself back to make them comfortable. You weren't born to play small in the name of politeness. You were born to shift atmospheres. And Michael is reminding you right now. Every time you say yes to your calling, darkness trembles. You might feel the resistance, the pressure, the self-doubt. That's okay. Even Michael had to war before the victory was visible. Even angels feel the friction of breakthrough. But still they fight. And now so will you. Not with rage, not with fists, with alignment, with grace, with presence, with the calm power of someone who knows heaven is backing them. That's your new posture. That's your new energy. And now, as this divine message prepares to settle into your bones, as you begin to breathe slower, as your shoulders release the tension you forgot you were carrying, Michael says one final thing. You were never meant to be invisible. You were meant to be undeniable. So go. Go with the fire still burning in your chest. Go with the protection of heaven wrapped around your name. Go with your angels behind you, before you, beside you. The watchers have been silenced. The trap has been broken. The anointing has been released. And now it's your time. Watch how heaven shows off through you. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. They're 70, but they look 30. What's more powerful than your thoughts? Time's up. The answer is your speech. What you speak has more of a vibrational effect than what you think. Ask any expert. Therefore, you're much more likely to get what you want when you speak your dreams, instead of thinking your dreams. And now you know why people have been praying for 50,000 years. I've always looked at prayer as a way to connect to a higher power and feel better. But it never occurred to me that prayer could help me reach my most physical, worldly dreams. Dreams like getting rich. But that's exactly what's happening to people who watch this video. The source of the prayers will shock you. It's a small group of Hasidic Jews that many call a cult. But even if it is a cult, everyone agrees it's a good cult, something that truly helps people. These guys are called the Malachim, which means the angels. They're 70 but look like they're 30. And they supposedly have communication with actual angels that bring our prayers before the Almighty. Pretty crazy stuff. The whole video really blew my mind. Click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret. I think this video may just be the missing link you're looking for, to get everything you ever dreamed of. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you.